Thank you for joining us today. I am here with a former client of mine, Bob. We'll just go by Bob for privacy purposes. Um, Bob was a former client of mine. He currently is going to help us talk through today about unemployment because he recently was able to apply for the pandemic unemployment assistance. He was initially denied, and he was able to provide the information they requested, and he received it. And I thought, while I don't assist people in that area of law, I thought that Bob could sort of walk us through about what the process was like and what to expect. So, Bob, why don't you sort of tell us how you applied, when you applied, and we'll start from there.
I first applied for unemployment on April 15th. And just like everybody else, you can't call there, you can't email there, no one's responding because they're just completely overwhelmed, which is understandable. But I will tell you, don't give up. So I applied for the unemployment. I, received a letter in the mail and an email. The letter said that I didn't have earnings for the first 2 quarters of 2019.
And let's back up a second. And
Yep.
You didn't have earnings for the first quarter of 2019 because you were receiving workers' compensation benefits?
Correct. That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. So I hadn't received anything. The last time I received any kind of compensation or wages, is the way unemployment looks at it, taxable wages was in 2019. So I was able to provide that information. I was denied unemployment. So I appealed. And then in the process of appealing, I looked up the PUA, the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance. I just typed in PUA Georgia. And there's a link there once you do that. And I was able to apply for the PUA, or Pandemic Unemployment Insurance. I'll refer to that as PUA going forward. So I applied for it. It was pretty easy, actually. There's information that you do have to turn in. Ben, I sent you an email on that, but I can quickly, review that. You get this email that says that you applied for it, and there's a bunch of questions they ask you. When's the last time you worked? Are you working now? Are you able to work? All those questions, you got to answer. And then you have to provide proof of earnings / wages. And it's broken down into 2 categories. You're either self-employed or you have an employer. In my case, I had an employer. So I had to provide these 5 things. I had to provide my federal income tax return for 2019, which I did. And then I had to provide my state income tax return, which I did. I had to provide any 1099 documents. In my case, I didn't have any. And then I had to provide pay stubs, earning statements, or vouchers. So that, in my case, I was able to, and that's my advice to everyone, save your pay stubs, even from workman's comp, disability. Right. In my case, where I worked at Title Max, I saved all of my pay stubs, including my last ones. So it made it easy for me to provide this information. And the last thing I had to, provide was my bank records, which was easy. You just go in there and, there's usually in any account statements, and I was able to see the direct deposit of those payments as well. So it proved that. Put it together in one nice little email with all those attachments. And I emailed it to PUA at gdol.ga.gov. And I'll repeat that, PUA at gdol.ga.gov. And I sent all that in. I applied, like I said, for unemployment on the 15th. I applied for PUA on the 26th. And on Monday, this past Monday,
which was May 4th.
Yep, May 4th. May the force be with you. I got paid. It was a direct deposit in there. I elected taxes to be taken out. It's $600. I received $504 on Monday.
So did you ever talk to anyone at all between the 26th of April and the 4th of May when you received it?
Nobody.
And did you receive any? Did you receive any confirmation that you had submitted the documentation from PUA?
Just this email, the email that I sent to you, Ben. It's that email that says your PUA claim has been processed.
But that was it. And the next
That
thing
was
you
it.
knew, on the 4th, all of a sudden you got money.
I had money in my account.
Okay. So in these crazy times, it is worth it, in your opinion, to apply for the PUA. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Even if you're denied, and it's all over the news, even if you're denied unemployment, PUA is a separate entity. And, after that, I got on the phone with my sister in Chicago, helped her with that, waiting to hear, she's a private business owner. She owns a salon in Chicago, and I'm waiting to hear how that's going for her. Of course, Illinois laws are different than Georgia. So, I was looking up stuff, and her husband, Jeff, and I were talking, and I'm waiting to hear back, how that's going to go for them. But, to me, it's a no-brainer. Why not take advantage? You got good, hardworking people out there that we've been paying into this,
Correct.
all our careers, right? So now's the time, where, hopefully it can turn about as fair play, and you can have them help you as well, the government help you as well.
Bob, thank you very much. It was very helpful. One more time, that was PUA@gdol.ga.gov.
Correct.
That was the email for the documentation. But if you could just Google pandemic unemployment assistance,
You
it
could
will,
just put in PUA Georgia. That's all you have to put in there.
and it'll take you right to the website. And let me just be clear: make sure you're going to a government website and not some third-party website that is
Correct.
trying to
Correct.
take advantage of you.
Correct. That is
Bob,
correct. That's correct.
thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate the helpful information. Let me just say, legal disclaimer: this was not legal advice. This was just two people talking about unemployment. So thanks, everyone.
Trying to help others. Hopefully, tap into the benefits that we have out there.
All right, pay it forward, right?
That's right.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Ben. Bye.